They peck on the bill because they are intrinsically and innately predisposed to do so. They will do so to almost anything that is long and thin and has a red background. But as they mature, they become more discriminating. They learn. So there's learning superimposed on the inherent and intrinsic predisposition. Humans have an intrinsic predisposition to respond to certain syllabic utterances, to hear certain syllables and phrases. We start off our lives, all of us, with the ability to respond to a huge spectrum of human sounds. But very quickly, as we develop, we lose the ability to pick up certain sounds and focus on the ones that are characteristic of our particular language. Different language groups emphasize slightly different sounds. So it becomes very difficult for a person to learn a foreign language, especially if the phonemes that I use in that language are different, because by the time you become a mature person, all the subgroups of cells that were responding to those phonemes have been disintegrated and applied. Okay? But we want to talk about autism too. Autism is a behavior disorder. It appears in a variety of forms of various severity. These different forms of autistic profile are called autism spectrum disorder. Autism is characterized by impaired social interactions and communication, restricted interest, repetitive ritualistic behavior. An autistic child may be sick. Just do that for hours. So stereotype. Okay? They have impaired recognition of faces and expressions and reduced eye contact, lack of intuition. You know, they say that we are built with what are called mirror neurons. So that you see somebody doing something, you think about it, doing that thing, and the same neurons that are activated in the person that's doing it become activated in your brain, while you're thinking about or watching the person do it. It is said that autistic people don't have a proper complement of mirror neurons, so they can't empathize with what other people do. They can't get inside another person's head and feel what it is that you might feel like. They just can't empathize. Now this obviously is a very important human characteristic. It is something that is built into our brains. And if it goes wrong, then you don't have those human characteristics and you see weird. A small fraction, between 0.5 and 10% of autistic people have unusual talents, as we discussed earlier. Autism occurs about 1 or 2 in every 1,000 births worldwide. In the US, it seems like they're identifying more like 11 in every 1,000 births since 2008, and the numbers have been rising. Now, whether that is because they're getting more autistic children or they're recognizing more autistic children and diagnosing them is very difficult. Okay? It may be that they're getting more. And one of the reasons is that it seems in the latest research that older fathers have a greater probability of having an autistic child. So fathers over 40 or 50 have a much higher probability of having an autistic child. Fathers under 20. Under 30. Normally, people who have autistic children will notice that when they're about 1 or 2. Sometimes they develop perfectly normally, and then at 1 or 2 they start showing these unusual behaviors. Often they have epileptic seizures. There is a clear genetic basis, heritability of that concept. But I already warned you. Okay? Interestingly, most studies indicate that there is a dysfunction in our institution relating to cell adhesion molecules. Cell adhesion molecules are molecules secreted by neurons which cause glial cells to adhere to the neurons and help to make synapses. Now, when your brain is developing, a very early stage in the development of your brain, synapses proliferate. This is after you're born. Before you're born, you produce pretty much a lot of the cells that are going to be in the brain, but you don't have that many synapses. After you're born and development starts, you produce a whole heap of synapses. There's what is called an exuberant growth of synapses. Okay?